That's how it is with me. I get movies all the time that I never heard of before, and I'm like, okay, why am I getting this movie?
Last Flag Flying.
Last Flag Flying is a 2017 movie directed by
See,
Richard
you don't even
Linklater,
type it in. You're
starring
still
Steve
talking.
Carell, Bryan
Well-
Cranston, and Lawrence Fishburne.
That's the Google computer there. It'll actually on some searches.
And if it doesn't understand what you're saying, it sends you to the wrong website. Then you sit there going, what the fuck is this?
Exactly. And I learned that the hard way on the last live video I did. I'm like,
No, you learn that every time you fucking talking to me on the phone.
well, that's true as well.
And I heard somebody tell me, yeah, I watched that. I was watching it, and he went to the wrong website.
Ugh. See, but if they continue to watch, they'll see.
What does it say about Last Flag Flying?
It says, let me scroll down. Last Flag Flying. 30 years after serving together.
Does it say what year the movie came out? Because that was the question you
Oh,
asked.
yeah, it was 2017, but it was about Vietnam. I knew it had to be about Vietnam. They always go to
It's
Vietnam.
not about Vietnam. I just told you a boy got killed in combat. He wasn't in fucking Vietnam. He was killed in Iraq.
Got killed in Iraq. Yeah, I'll just say it at the end. Okay. But then I don't even understand why they had to put Vietnam reference.
Because Larry Fishburne and the other guys were in Vietnam.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, I'll have to go get another one because this one ain't working.
Which,
But when it first started off, I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be some like white boy family movie. But then when I started watching, I'm like, you know what? But see, I should have known because Larry Fishburne don't star on crap. But you gotta get Five Finger, dude.
Five Finger.
Yeah, look that one up. Larry Fishburne, Five Finger. That movie will fuck you up. That movie threw me for a loop. I was like, what the fuck?
Larry Fishburne. I'm going to type this in because I don't want to take no chances.
Imagine that. Gotta be lazy like the white man.
Yeah, stop. It's not about being like them.
It is. The children don't know how to write cursive writing, and now they don't even have to fucking use their fingers to type. How much lazier can you get?
It's not, but think about
It's gonna be just like that fucking commercial that came out before you were born, where people no longer did physical fitness, and so their head was in a box, and they had a robot carry their heads around because their bodies were gone.
Oh, God. That almost sounds like Futurama. That little stupid ass cartoon. Okay, hold on. This movie came out in 2006, American drama thriller.
And I never heard of that one either. I just happened to be in Target. I'm like, Five Finger, what the fuck's that boy? I'm like, motherfucker.
Wait, Martin Phelps, gifted Dutch jazz pianist, flies to Morocco to set up a food assistance program. We're going to be needing one of them soon. When he arrives, however, he and his traveler guide, Marvin Meany, are quickly kidnapped by terrorists, taken to an undisclosed location, bound, blindfolded. The captured swiftly shoots.
Anyway, you gotta get that movie, dude. That movie is fucking something else. I was like, damn. Good thing I keep my receipts because I fucked up on that one Tara movie. What's that girl from Empire? Tarja or whatever.
Yeah,
Anyway, she's in a recent movie, and I brought the movie home, and the movie didn't fucking work. But see, I bought so many movies that by the time I watched it, it was too late to take it back. So I was like, ah. Then I went back down there to buy another one. They didn't even have another copy of it in the store.
Damn. You know, before I go any further, I want to see if you could possibly do a little live thing.
I just said no.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
I said no when you first started, before you even asked the question.
Oh, my bad. But still yet, the ramifications of what's going down tomorrow.
Yeah, so
I mean,
the sun will come. Hey, the sun will come up. You'll still have to take a shit. Your daughter's still gonna be pissed at you. So nothing's gonna change.
Okay, good. That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know in a nutshell, right there. Nothing's really going to change. Everything's going according to plan.
No shit. They've already got total control over you. They're just letting you know they can take more away.
No, no. That's not the plan I'm talking about. That's no. Absolutely
Good
not.
luck with that. It's called the Liberation World Order. You ever heard of that?
No. Liberation.
Exactly. See, why you guys call it the New World Order, because that's what Daddy Bush said back in '91. The correct term in the Council of Foreign Relations is the Liberation World Order,
Oh my God.
because that was what the U.S. was supposed to be spreading since the 1950s.
Liberation World Order.
Are you looking that one up, huh?
Yeah, freedom. Freedom, not yet. Liberation and the next world order. That's some sort of book, but liberation.
Actually, I shouldn't say liberation. The liberal New World Order.
Oh my God. Liberal. Damn. Liberal. New world order. What a topic on Valentine's Day. The Trump is building a new.
Is that today?
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
No, I'm serious. I didn't know. I don't give a shit about Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So what does it say for liberal New World Order?
Trump is building a new liberal world order, says Pompeo.
But you've never even heard that term, have you?
Never have.
I'm sure John Lear talks about that.
Hell no, he ain't.
I'm sure Judge Joe Brown talks about that.
No.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
And I'm sure Matt has had that conversation on your show and talked about it.
No. And that's what's so.
That's the official terminology of it. And Trump and these guys can talk all the shit they want, but they're never going to stop the liberal New World Order, because that was planned at the Bohemian Grove back in 1945. And I keep telling people, I said it's like that slow-moving train on the train track.
Oh my God.
It may be 5 miles down the road, but if you park your fucking car on that train track, it's eventually going to get to your intersection.
You know it.
And it's still going to run your ass over.
You know it.
That's the liberal New World Order. We'll have some more wars, but in the end, they'll get the liberal New World Order. What did Hitler call it? My New Order. What does it say on the back of your dollar bill? Novus Ordo Seclorum. Order of the New Ages. They've been planning this shit for centuries.
Well, you know what? Maybe it is time for me just to. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead, throw in the towel, and start talking about rappers and
Why?
and relationships.
If you give the people what they want. You ever watch those fucking movies? The Hunger Games?
Yes, my wife made me watch that stupid shit. This stuff.
And what did Donald Sutherland say in the first movie? Don't give them too much hope.
Damn. That's deep.
And by the way, you saw the last one, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we're.
And you know that one came out right before the big bombing in France, right?
No.
And you do realize in that movie, they thought that Donald Sutherland and them were the ones who blew up the place, but who was it that actually blew the place up?
It was the resistance people.
There you go. Because she knew that she would never get the people to rally behind her, but if she made it look like Donald Sutherland and them had killed a bunch of innocent women and children, then the people would rise up.
Damn. And that's what they did.
And if you look at the bombing in France that happened right after that movie came out, you'll see the same bullshit.
You know, I've been talking to a guy from France.
Because they blame the bombing on migrants, immigrants. Well, in that movie, The Hunger Games, they were immigrants going to the city. They were refugees. So all we need now is for Trump to have a bombing at the border and blame it on refugees, and they'll have what they want. He'll get his wall,
Oh yeah. Oh man.
and the people won't say shit because after they see the bombing on our border, even the liberals will say enough is enough, or they'll just keep quiet after that because now they'll be ashamed to say anything.
Exactly. Next false flag. Oh,
You know, one of my favorite false flags was
what?
Operation Northwood.
Operation Overlord.
Oh, I'm sure you've heard of it.
Oh, I've heard of it, but I'm writing it down.
You've heard of it?
Well, that was the operation to go ahead and basically have people attack America, and then it looks like
No. No.
Operation
Why don't you go ahead and Google Operation Northwood?
Yeah, let me do that.
Mm-hmm. It's okay to say you don't know.
I thought that had Operation Northwood. What's this thing says? Let me jump back here. That's one thing I do say about using the internet in a capacity like this. This is where it actually pays off.
That's why I'm a threat now. When I was doing shows with Carl, the internet wasn't around.
And that's with an S. Okay, hold on. Operation Northwood was a proposed and almost implemented false flag operation against the Cuban government that originated within the United States Department of Defense, or DOD. The Joint Chiefs of Staff.
What they were going to do was blow up an American airline and blame it on Castro, so that the American people would let the U.S. attack Cuba.
Blame on Cuba, yeah.
So much for the 200 plus people on the plane that died.
Well, you know what? When we're dealing with these spiritual matters, there's always has to be a blood sacrifice, unfortunately.
There ain't no spirit with these assholes. These are the John Birches. Guys like Curtis LeMay and them. That's who was behind that shit. That's why they took Kennedy out, because Kennedy wouldn't go for all their John Birch Society schemes.
Hold on. Let me go over here real quick. Who is Curtis LeMay?
According to Wikipedia,
Oh.
Curtis Emerson LeMay was a general in the United States Air Force and the vice presidential running mate of American Independent Party candidate George Wallace in the 1968 presidential election.
Holy shit. See, only when something's important does Google do that for me and actually read back. Damn it. Too bad he was in the Air Force. Oh my
Why
god,
is that?
he looks mean as fuck in the face.
I told you to get the movie 7 Days in May, because that movie is showing you Curtis LeMay. And what was the other movie I told you? Burt Lancaster, 7 Days in May, but what was the other movie?
It was The Formula.
Executive Action.
Oh yes, Executive Action.
The Formula is George C. Scott. You watch 7 Days in May, you'll see the plot to take Kennedy out. You watch Executive Action, and you'll see how they did it. And the plan to reduce the world population.
Oh damn. Oh damn.
And those movies came out before you were born. There ain't nothing new under the sun. Burt Lancaster, by the way, I always have respect for him because he was always on the front lines during the civil rights movement.
I see that. That's so weird because, yes, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
And that's why I lost a lot of respect for Charlton Heston, because he ended up turning out to be one of these right-wing nuts running with the NRA. He was right on the front lines with Sidney Poitier and all the black guys who were risking their Hollywood careers. It was Marlon Brando, Charlton Heston, and Burt Lancaster. They were out on the front lines.
Let me write all this down. Marlon. I remember seeing that picture of all, like, 5 of them. Marlon Brando. Burt Lancaster. And George C. Scott?
I said Charlton Heston.
Yes, Charleston Heston.
So it's really sad because if you mention Charlton Heston today, all people remember him for is his NRA bullshit. He was nothing like that in the 60s.
So he just kind of did that as a come up. Poor white boy, get in with the darkies, show a little love, and then he crosses over.
Stop, dude. Stop. It's nothing like that. Those guys were legit. Those guys sacrificed their fucking Hollywood careers. In fact, I've got photographs of Nazis demonstrating outside of Brando's movies in L.A. because they were calling him a communist. Anybody who doesn't agree with the John Birch Society, you're a communist or a Marxist or a socialist. That's where those fucking terms are coming from. The fascists are the ones who use that term. They called fucking FDR a communist, a Marxist, a socialist. They called Kennedy a communist, a Marxist, a socialist. They call Obama a communist, a Marxist, a socialist. They call Bernie Sanders a communist and a Marxist. He's a democratic socialist, which has nothing to do with Marxism or communism. First of all, communists don't believe in God.
Right.
That's why I never had anything to do with the Black Panthers. Because the Black Panthers were selling Chairman Mao's Red Book. That's how they made their money.
So they
Blacks come from a spiritual background.
Right.
Communism doesn't recognize any form of religion.
Hold on, I have to know more about this Curtis. He must be dead. He's obviously dead. Yeah. Okay.
Thank God.
That ain't cool. I mean,
Well, just put Curtis LeMay, John Birch Society, and see what you come up with. I don't know what's so hard to figure out.
Okay. I'm just gonna put John Birch. The stupid ass.
He had direct ties to Kennedy's assassination.
Alright, let me my keyboard, damn wireless keyboard's messing up.
Those motherfuckers hated Kennedy. LeMay was
This went to his Wikipedia, which is it's not really the greatest source, but dude, that guy has a chest full of medals. Damn. Anyhow.
So what? Petraeus had a chest full of medals. He didn't go to fucking combat till he was a major general, and major generals don't serve in combat. So what's your point? Only injury he ever had was accidentally injuring himself on the rifle range. Chest full of medals don't mean shit.
Wow.
I never bought into that shit. That's why I don't lose any sleep at night because I don't have a chest full of medals. I get the same pay as a major who got a chest full of medals. So what the fuck do I care? And I don't have no fucking shell shock. I don't have no amputated leg, no amputated arm. But like Hillary Clinton said, intellects don't go to combat.
Damn. Dude. Hold on, I have to research that. Intellects.
Hillary hates the Marine Corps though.
Why?
Because when she tried to join, they told her, get your fat ass across the hall and join the Army. She never forgave the Marine Corps for that.
At least the beloved Air Force wasn't drawn into that. Get your fat ass in the Army. Oh my gosh, LeMay. I know that name. Somewhere.
Yeah, okay.
I know it from somewhere else. General LeMay was an instructor at SAC, acquisition of the large fleet of new strategic bombers, established a vast aeronaut refueling system.
Yeah, bomb them all. Let God sort them out.
Bomb them all. I know. There it is. I remember hearing that phrase. Bomb them all. And let God sort them out.
These motherfuckers are still around. Now they're back in the Trump administration. wealthier, more powerful, and the country is dumbed down. Because even this movie I'm watching, Last Flag Flying, the one thing that came out, yeah, they don't show you pictures at Dover anymore because they don't want the American people to see the dead bodies coming home from the war. What was the biggest mistake of these fascists during Vietnam War?
The biggest mistake was letting letting American people see that war on their TV screen.
So before you can win the war abroad, you have to win the war where?
At home, in the hearts
Which
and minds.
and if you're having a war at home, what does that make the people of the country?
Combatants.
The enemy.
Yes.
And that's what you've had for the last 30 years. Saturation of making you the enemy and making you dumb down and making you hate each other and fighting each other while wealthy people are buying homes and building bunkers in New Zealand.
Damn it.
Or buying up these old World War II, Cold War era bomb bunkers and turning them into like nice homes, but they know that fucking thing's got an underground, you know, they're building their fortresses.
Yes. Well,
behind gated communities. They could be on top of the hill and watch everybody else out in the streets, taking it to the streets. Like in the TV show, like in the movies, the Purge movies.
Hold on, that's fine. My little...
Damn, I was hoping to finish watching this movie. Last Flag Flying. Motherfucker.
Last flag flying. Oh, this is a lot.
But what movie did I tell you I helped Larry Fishburne with?
Deep Cover.
And what movie did I tell you to even mention that movie?
That part I don't...
Straight Outta Compton.
Straight Out. Yes.
I helped Fishburne and I helped Jeff Goldblum in that movie. And then I helped Jeff Goldblum's, ex-wife, Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon and Dumb and Louise. But they actually gave me credit for Deep Cover. Because I've helped people in a whole bunch of movies, but they never give me fucking credit. I was surprised. I fucking Googled my name on the internet one night, and all of a sudden I come up with an IMDb. I was like, what the fuck is this? And they gave me credit for Deep Cover.
Oh. How would you look that up on the internet?
I just Googled my name.
Your real name or the Mark for Anaheim name?
I use my name. Why would I use Mark from Anaheim?
I don't know. Hold on. Michael.
And then put Michael Parler and then put Deep Cover and see what you come up with.
Yeah, I won't. Yeah, take out the brown. Parler. Deep Cover. Michael Parler Brown IIB or DB. Yeah, there it is. Then it has talking with surfing too. So that name's really tied with surfing.
Oh, there's no telling what's tagged with me since supposedly I run a YouTube that I don't know anything about.
Oh yeah, your Mark for Anaheim, or not obviously your Mark for Anaheim, the Mark for Anaheim YouTube page. Yeah, it is pretty suspicious. Hold on, contributed to bio tribute more updated info. Well, I gotta make an account.
I'm sure there are people from Hollywood who follow me on Facebook who read my shit and then go back and check it out, and then because I've never done an IDMB or whatever that is, so I don't even know how that got on the internet. And I know my name's not going to be in the credits for that movie, so I have no idea. I just Googled my name one night. I'm like, what the fuck?
Damn, man. You got a lot of shit on you, actually, though. Life After Death Row, Snoop Dogg. Oh, that's some other shit. They throw in a bunch of different... Emma, stop that and leave her alone.
A lot of stuff on me, huh? How about this one? Google Michael Parler and then put non-lethal and see what comes up.
Non-lethal. What's, baby? Right, take that back to PJ's room. Orange County, California area, U.S. Marine Corps, LAPD views Michael Pollard's profile on LinkedIn. That's the first thing that pops up. Non-lethal weapon terms. 1991, May 29th. U.S. Marine Corps R. Reserve. Must be.
1991, huh?
Non-lethal weapon terms is a book.
Really? So that means somebody has me in their book and I don't even know about it. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. I tell people always Google their names because you never know what you'll find. So apparently there's somebody out there who wrote something on non-lethal. Dude, I found my name in a fucking declassified Air Force document. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck?
That was after William Cohen came out and said how they use weather for weapons.
Hold on, William Cohen.
Cohen.
C-O-H.
You don't even know who that is, do you?
I will.
That was Clinton's Secretary of Defense.
Okay.
Oh, was he Secretary of State?
We're going to see what Google's going to say here. William Cohen. Oh, Clinton's administration. Oh, don't even let me have time to fucking say what I need to say. Fuck. William Cohen, got that part. C-O-H-N.
Cohen. Another reason why you don't want to say things verbally, because people have different spellings for their names.
William Sebastian Cohen, born August 28th,
That's not what I asked you. I said William Cohen, weaponized weather. See what you come up with.
Hold on, let me write this down.
They use the weather for weapons. But I think after William Cohen came out and made that statement, then all of a sudden people started finding my name and declassified government documents and shit. And I'm like, what? That was before I got I refused to get a computer until Y2K. So a lot of stuff was already on the internet about me, and I didn't know anything about it because I didn't have a computer.
I'm telling you, a lot of people have computers, but they're using some bitch for the wrong thing.
William Cohen, weaponized weather.
Secretary of Defense, William Cohen, blah, blah, blah. Weather warfare, Secretary of Defense, United States. This is April 1997, years ago.
Clinton was in the White House.
Weather warfare. These are quotes.
So that's 22 years ago, so why you guys are acting all shocked and surprised? I'm sure John Lear talks about that, right?
A little bit he talks about HARP. A little bit, but not.
HARP, please. Yeah. That's so old. That technology is already, they don't need that. They don't need HARP anymore. That's old.
Well, I mean.
But if you want to talk about HARP, just the space shuttle used to carry a 17-mile copper wire behind it, and every time they flew, there was always an earthquake. Like in Central America or South America. Major earthquake. Or in China or someplace else.
Space shuttle, copper wire behind it. Hold on, I gotta see this. This is what I'm talking about, man. These things are so trivial to you because you live it every day. But to a person who doesn't live this every day, it's far from just trivial.
I'm just a surfing bum. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't live this shit.
Space shuttle.
I was watching the Thor movies this week. I don't give a fuck about this shit. I didn't even know it was Valentine's Day. I don't give a shit.
Say, copper wire. Attached. Shuttle has a copper wire attached. The space tethering experiment isn't this fucked up.
Oh, come on. You have John Lear on. I'm sure he talked about that.
Quit, man. No, he doesn't. John keeps all this shit to his fucking chest, man. Just like a good little Nazi he is. Okay, let me see. Fuck. Well, I'm writing all this shit down. These fools are gonna get one hell of a show today.
I don't know. I'm sure you'll give me credit.
Oh,
Is there anything else you want? Because I'm going to go now and try to find that receipt so I can take this movie back.
no,
Piss
that's
me
it.
off.
That's it. I appreciate it. That is it. All right, man. Have a good day, and
Knowledge is a dangerous thing.
yes, it is.
And there was nothing like finding my name on the internet, outing me, alleging that I work for some government agency.
I mean, the way they're right, you do. I mean, you know.
And outing me along with hundreds of other people.
Well, that's
But unlike those other people, I always use a post office box. Because some rich fucking kid, pissed off at his daddy, he decides to steal his daddy's book with everybody's name in it and publish it on the fucking internet.
shit.
Of course, I shall neither confirm nor deny any connections to any organization or fucking agency. I love the time though my daughter was like 11 years old. Daddy, you told me you would never lie to me. So why do you get mail from... I know nothing. But see, now I've modified it. I know nothing, Jon Snow.
This is crazy, man. I mean, space tethering mission. They are really trying to make that damn space elevator a reality.
Who gives a fuck about a space elevator? I'm talking about dragging a cable. First of all, why would you be dragging a cable that's 17 fucking miles long? Secondly, it must just be a coincidence that there was a major earthquake in various countries every time the fucking space shuttle went up.
Damn. Never really.
But that's old technology. And what movie did I tell you showed you using satellites to fucking create earthquakes and stuff?
I don't think you told me any movie about that.
Oh, God. Under Siege 2, Dark Territory.
Hold on.
You know who the star is of that, right?
Yeah, probably Bruce Willis or...
Foreskin Head. Steven Seagal.
Oh, Stevens. Hold on. Under Siege.
My daughter and son was at his... They started out in karate at his school here in Buena Park. That school's long gone now.
Well, he's down in Louisiana, I believe.
Who gives a fuck? He's a Russian citizen. So who gives a fuck?
Oh, shit, I didn't even know that. What happened?
What's the name of the movie?
Under Siege 2.
Dark Territory.
Or, yeah, Dark Territory.
I would never want to be a dying man to give you my last words because you wouldn't remember half of what I said, so it wouldn't have mattered. I know, this is what you're going to say, but you were trained to see and hear everything.
I was surely thinking that. I wasn't going to say it, but I was surely thinking that. You know, you got to...
That's why I hate getting in arguments with people because I said, that's not what I said.
Right. And I'm very conscious of trying never to miss.
Especially when I'm on the radio, I'll come back and go, that's not what I said, and then I tell them exactly what I said, because I know what I said. Hell, when I type stuff on Facebook, I'm not listening to the show when I'm typing that up. I'm going back from memory, so I mean, sometimes it may not be the exact two words together or the sentences in the right order, but I know what I said because I ain't lying.
Right. The overall concepts there.
That's why I don't waste time lying. You don't have to remember what you fucking said.
Well, true. In the spirit of what you said.
I'll just tell people I'm not going to answer that. But everybody wants to be impressive and make themselves out to be more than what they really are, so they got to embellish.
Exactly.
Shit, these motherfuckers are living for the day to catch me in a lie.
I'm sorry, but that's sad, dude. That's sad.
I don't give a shit.
I mean...
And then they try to tell me, you said that Hillary was going to win. I never said anybody was going to win. In fact, I came on Carl's show And I told them, I said, by February of election year, I always told Carl Nelson who would be the next president. I cannot tell you who's going to be the next president, which means there's something terribly wrong. The 2016 election was the first, the 2016 election was the first election where I did not predict the president in February of that year. In fact, I came on Carl's show in February 2012, and I go, Obama will get reelected. So everybody was waiting to see me be wrong. And then when Obama, I did make a mistake on your show the other night, though. I said I didn't vote for Obama, but I supported Obama after Mitt Romney kept telling him, "You don't understand." But that wasn't Romney; that was fucking McCain who kept talking down to him in the first debate, because he ran against McCain in the first election. And what happened was they had the debate, and they talked about how John McCain just wiped the floor with Obama. So I did a radio show with Carl. I said, listen, this is how it's going to play out, Carl. I go, do you know who Obama's all-time favorite athlete is? And Carl's like, no. So I'm going to ask you, do you know who Obama's all-time favorite athlete is?
I don't have an idea, no.
Muhammad Ali. I said, what you're going to see is Obama lost the first debate because he's doing the rope-a-dope. Obama's going to come out in the second debate, and he will win that debate. In fact, you will know Obama is serious because he's going to wear a red tie. And guess what he wore during the second debate?
A red tie.
I had people who I don't even know find me on Facebook, and all they did was send me a message, red tie! after Obama won the debate. So what I'm saying is, it's sad because, I don't really think about it, but these people do listen to what I say on the radio show.
Of course they do. Oh yeah, I'm here to tell you, you have a fan base that's pretty fucking core about you. Like I wasn't joking.
But that was some funny shit, man. When people kept saying red tie, red tie, red tie, and then they pissed me off because I'll come on Carl's show and they try to tell me what I said, and they're confusing me with Craig Hulet.
Craig Hulet.
That's who you need to get on your show. Craig Hulet will come on your show because nobody else will have him. The only people who have him is Carl Nelson and fucking George Norrie.
Oh, hold on. Let me. Hold on. Craig.
Last name is Hulet. You can tell him Mark from Anaheim recommended you. Because somebody asked him about Mark from Anaheim. He goes, I don't know any Mark from Anaheim. He goes, that's funny. Because Mark of Anaheim has a copy of one of your books that you sent him back in the night. Yeah, I remember him now, motherfucker.
Hold on, Craig. It looks like it's Craig B.
Yep.
Hulet.
Yep. He'll come on your show. He won't go as far, but he will tell you some shit you ain't gonna hear from no other white boys. In fact, now when he goes on George Norrie's show, he always praises Carl Nelson because nobody else will even have him on. But he likes to show people that he's down with black folks, so he always brings up Carl's name on the show just to show. But he's in bed with the John Birch Society.
Oh, okay, I get that, but that's okay. That's beautiful. Okay, that's how we're gonna play it. We can play it like that. I will contact this fool, and
he knows he's a major player, dude. He's been around for a long time too. In fact, I do a quote all the time. I go, Craig Hulet, back in the 90s, I go, Craig Hulet and I don't agree on everything, but there's one thing Craig Hulet and I agree on. Presidents do not run this country, and the last one who thought he did shouldn't have driven through Dallas with the top down.
Wow.
He was guarding Fort Knox. That's why he's got his feelings hurt, because he found out there was no gold at Fort Knox.
That's such a lie. Everybody knows there's fucking gold there, man.
Excuse me.
What's that?
I just told you he got his feelings hurt when he found out there was no gold at Fort Knox. So what fucking world are you living in? Because you ain't even listening to what I'm telling you.
No, I heard what you're saying, but I thought you were being jokey about it. Like,
I'm not joking about anything. There's nothing I said to you on this phone today that I've been joking about. I'm telling you, Craig Hulet got his feelings hurt when he found out while guarding the gold at Fort Knox, there ain't no gold in Fort Knox. Hey, you could ask him about that when you bring him on your show.
Well, I heard that was
because most people wouldn't know that story. So you could tell him Mark from Anaheim said, hey, is it true?
Oh my God, that's not cool. Because I was just looking at a report the other day.
You ever see the movie Den of Thieves?
No, Den of Thieves.
I don't know why they do this movie, because this movie tells you how to fucking rob banks and all kinds of other shit, and how to rob armor cars and everything. But it's a very interesting movie.
Den of Thieves.
I never heard about that one either, but I'm like, okay, I gotta buy this movie. So this week I bought that movie.
It's hold on. It looks like it might be a new one. Den of Thieves is a 2018 American heist film written directed by Christian Gugas and starring Gerald Butler, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson.
And yet you've never even heard of it. And them some hardcore motherfuckers with the same training I got. In fact, they even mentioned 29 Palms. I run a 29 Palms Facebook site. By the way, I see you joined one of my Facebook sites not too long ago.
Yeah.
Which one was that? Which one was that? Payment? Well, which one was that?
It was a surfing one.
Oh, the Salty Girls?
Yeah, Salty Girls.
You a pervert. I'm going to tell your wife.
No, I mean, she knows I'm not into no shit like that.
Looking at my little white girl.
Yeah, no, you ain't sitting there. I'm doing it for...
I like it when I took Tessa to this Chinese restaurant a couple weeks ago, and the woman in there goes, "Ooh, you have nice skin."
What?
She told Tessa she had nice skin. I laughed. Oh, then I went to that fucking Chinese restaurant 2 nights ago, and some woman in there goes, "Where's your wife?" I'm like, "What?
Oh,
Wife?" I go, "That's one of my surfers." I told Tessa about that. She was cracking up last night.
oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
my wife.
But do you see how that goes, though? Do you see how image is everything?
Well, at least she's 22, so at least that one wouldn't be so bad. Because most of my girls are like 14 to 17 years old, so at least she's 22.
Well, but the beautiful thing and the most telling thing about that whole
There's only one girl who remotely had a chance to compromise my integrity, but thank goodness she lives all the way in Chile. You want to know who she is?
Yes, I do.
I think she just turned 20. Well, she's still 21 now. Her name is Lorena Fica, Fica. I wrote a thing about her. Posted it on her Facebook. She let everybody read it. I was talking about this fucking communist leader that was down there in Chile. Well, actually, fascist leader. And I'm like, yeah, you know, during the Cold War, if they sent me somebody, Lorena Fica, I'd give them all the secrets. And some guy in Chile read that and he went, "Damn!" No, that chick, she's got that on her personal Facebook and on her official Facebook fan page. I think, damn.
That's correct. I mean,
Lorena Fica.
got that part right. I'm looking her up, you know, so.
In fact, I don't think she's the only female surfer from Chile. I think she's the only professional surfer from Chile.
Surfer.
With my luck, she probably comes from some family involved with the major drug cartels.
Oh, I don't think drug goes all the way down to there. I think they kind of.
What the fuck are you talking about? Google Lorena Fica and see what you come up with.
Lorena Fica, Chile, and this is November 16th. Oh, well, that's a Spanish site. Pro surfer. I can probably read, you know, about the surfer.
So now, since you made that dumbass statement, why don't you Google this? Put down Chile and then put down cocaine and see what you come up with.
Okay.
You do say some stupid shit, dude.
Cocaine. Chile cocaine. Black cocaine, also known as coco nigra. A mixture of regular cocaine. Okay. Jump to Chile route. This is kind of Irish gang. Okay. Chile narcotic trafficking data. Now, let me check out the actual official country's data. Chile long remains relatively unaffected either by drug trafficking or by extensive drug abuse. Some expansion both of drug trafficking and of narcotic abuse occurred during the late 60s and early 70s, reflecting an international trend. But by the early 70s, Chile had become an important regional center for cocaine processing. The problem had become significantly acute to occasion the passage of the country's first anti-narco laws by Aladdin Popular Unity Government early in 1973.
What, Allende?
Yeah, Allende.
Do you know who the fuck put Allende in office?
I would assume us.
There you go.
That article is very misleading. It starts off saying that they're relatively blah blah blah, and then it's like, well, in the 70s though, they did have a bit of a cocaine manufacturing problem. What the hell?
Isn't cocaine next to Peru?
Yeah, Chile is down. Yeah, up there in the mountain, the Andes
And
Mountains.
Peru doesn't have cocaine?
No, Peru has cocaine.
And isn't Chile and Peru next to Bolivia?
And Bolivia has cocaine as well.
Wake the fuck up, dude. Where do you think all my servers are from? South America and Europe.
Oh, but not just South America, Nazi South America. Let's just be honest.
There you go. Because Argentina means as white as silver. So the whites took over Argentina. That's what's going on in Venezuela. Anytime a person of color takes over in Venezuela, he's labeled as a communist and he's overthrown. Guys like Hugo Chavez, or the guy who's president right now, they call themselves Negrito Indios, black Indians. And these white motherfuckers want them out. And they're going to take them out.
Damn, dude.
And then you see all the people fleeing those countries coming
Yes.
up here.
They're all done.
Those are the refugees who are fleeing because we put in people like Allende. And you know where we trained them all, right?
CIA?
It's okay to say no.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where we.
So write this down.
Ready.
School of Americas.
School of Americas.
Columbus, Georgia. Now Google that and see what you come up with.
Columbus, Georgia. Okay. Let me do. Americas. Columbus. Columbus, Georgia. I think this thing's listening to me. Western Hemisphere Institute for Security Corporation. That's not cool. Damn, hold on. The Western Institute for Security Corporations, United States Department of Defense Institute, located at Fort Benning near Columbus, Georgia, created in 2001 National Defense Authorization Act.
And who was the president in 2001?
George W. Bush.
Well, it was in existence before that. They didn't change the name of it. Go ahead.
The School of Americas. The U.S. Army School of the Americas was founded in 1946. The original Fort Gulick.
And you never even heard of it.
Never have. Never have.
I'm sure Judge Joe Brown talked about it.
Stop. No. Once again, no. They don't. They all keep it rhythm and row. Actually, they seem to only go as far as your...
So what does it say?
It says, the school aimed to instruct the armed forces of Latin America using training programs that were indoctrinally sound and compatible with United States custom and tradition and the cost effect. And
in other words, we train them, they go back, they overthrow their countries and become the president.
We learned a lot from the French. That's what
French
they did to Africa.
Down there, you have Nazis. They use Nazi torture against anybody who speaks out against the fucking government.
Dude.
Just like the guy in Brazil right now. He was an army officer.
Dude.
In fact, he was an army officer. The guy fucking kicked out of the army.
So that's why they had the disappearance of the people back in the.
Yeah. In Brazil right now, they're killing the natives in the jungles because the jungles are going to be open to corporations to come in and mine and cut down all the lumber.
Damn, dude.
And what teams did I tell you I was with during the last World Championships here held in Huntington Beach? I was with Team France and Team Peru.
France and Peru.
I've got girls from Peru who I coach when they come up here.
Dude, this is.
I got girls from, you already know, from Chile. I got a girl from Argentina. I'll tell you, hey, here's one for you from Argentina. Nice body. Her name is Lucia Cosoleto. Cosoleto. See what you come up with on that one.
Costaio. Solita.
What are you talking about? Lucia Cosoleto. Cosoleto.
Okay. I'm gonna have to. Here we go with the computer's lagging now.
Of course.
Sorry. Oh, come on, I got Charter, dude. The best internet in the region.
Right.
Try and tell me I can't get to this. Hold on 1 second. This is an older computer too, so.
Oh, okay. Mine's 2008.
It's like 2014 or so, but a little older.
You think? Nothing on mine is even fucking supported anymore because I had Windows.
How do you pronounce her first name again?
Lucia. Lucia.
Lucia. Lucia.
Cosoleto.
Lucia. Cosoleto. No, what is this? Give me this glue. No, go on. Don't stay out of your brother's stuff, please. Let's see. Costellato. Lucino Costellato. Is it taking me here? Or play. See here.
And how did you spell Cosoleto?
Castanio.
I said Cosoleto. 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 See, and this is what happens when you do everything by voice. Just like you don't understand what I'm saying, the fucking computer doesn't understand what you're saying, and it sends you the wrong thing if you don't take the time to type it in.
Okay.
She probably comes from some major drug cartel family, either or some fucking School of America's family. Well, who else can afford to go around the world surfing when you come from a country that has all kinds of poverty and shit?
There's someone connected to that in that respect. I mean, Cosolot.
What are you talking about? See, this is why you should be writing it down.
I did write.
Cosoleto.
This is crazy. I don't understand.
But you're not writing it down. You're trying to type it in.
There we go. Finally. I cannot. I have to translate. That's all. Everything on this chick came up in Spanish.
No, there's all kinds of English. But the point is, that's one of my girls in Argentina. And she's getting fucked because in Argentina right now, they've lost 60% of their money value. No, 80% of their money value.
In Argentina, it's gone?
80% of their money value. So, like, if you paid $1 for something today, it's only worth 20 cents tomorrow.
I had to 80%. 80% money value gone in Argentina. Money value gone in man, it's already up there.
Well, I'm sure you heard about that before, because I'm sure the news here tells you about that.
Argentine currency collapse. Hype is reality.
They plan on doing the same thing here?
Yeah, but see, the only danger about doing it
Let me
here.
tell you about Argentina.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of the Malvinas Islands?
No. Never.
I'll make it simple for you. Just type in F-A-L-K
F-A-L-K
L-A-N-D
L-A-N-D
Island.
Oh, the English Falkland Islands. Yes.
No, it's the Malvinas Islands. Fuck England. I'm down with the, hey, you know me, I'm down with the fucking underdogs. I'm with the fucking, the local folks. It's the Malvinas Islands. But you would never know that, so I just told you to type in Falkland.
Okay. Falkland Island sovereignty dispute?
How the fuck can it be a sovereignty dispute? It's 17 miles off the coast of Argentina. Is that anywhere near England?
No.
And that's what goes on around the world. These motherfuckers don't give up the territories.
But you gotta understand the Falkland
Actually, it's not. There's like 7 families that live there, and England promised them they could stay there for the rest of their lives, and that's why they go down there and kill a bunch of Argentinians. The Argentinians want their island back.
Damn, dude.
And since the British don't even have a decent navy anymore, guess who went down there to help them?
The ghetto USA.
There it is.
Damn. We can't keep our hands out of this stupid shit.
So you never even heard of the School of America?
No, that's...
Yeah, that's Craig Hulet. He'll tell you about the School of America. He'll tell you about Venezuela, too. Because I said on your show the other day, we probably got troops in Colombia right now waiting to go in there, but then you had to say it, so I said, well, maybe that's why they're sending active duty down to the Mexican border. It's a lot quicker for them to get down to damn Venezuela. And you're like, I didn't want to say that.
Well, we don't want to give up. I mean, even though they may be fighting for the wrong whatever, don't matter. We don't want to necessarily put men and women's lives in jeopardy.
That's not my point. When I said active duty at the Mexican border, there's no reason to have active duty at the Mexican border.
No, there's not. No, there's not. But obviously something's going down. So.
And now Texas and California say they're pulling their National Guard out.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. That's not a good move. It shows disunity amongst us.
Disunity? What are you talking about?
I mean, it shows that, like, we're not...
Who does the National Guard belong to?
It belongs, unfortunately, to the state, but it should belong to the federal government.
Why?
Because they're federal... I mean, we don't need 2 armies in the country, in the nation.
You don't have 2 armies.
Well, you're right about that, per se, but...
You don't use U.S. Army when there's an earthquake. You use the National Guard.
True. Because of, what's that?
You don't use U.S. Army when there's a riot. You use the National Guard.
Right. Posse comitatus. Posse comitatus. There's some legal...
Oh, you mean like Patton and MacArthur killing World War I veterans? But see, Washington, D.C. is an exception because that's a federal territory.
Yes! Technically, that's not a part of the nation, yes!
So what about when the Army fucking kill all those black people in Tulsa, Oklahoma and Black Wall Street? when they put machine guns on the hill and just mowed down all the blacks in Tulsa.
Well, we don't really know if that really happened like that, honestly. You know, it's nice.
What are you fucking talking about?
I mean, there's no document saying that that's exactly
What are you fucking talking about?
Little Black Wall Street. I thought it was just like the KKK that rose up against the people, not like some sort of.
The U.S. Army placed machine guns on the high ground and fucking shot anybody walking down the street. What world? Dude, you need to stop listening to white America in fucking Missouri. Because you sound just like these white people who were saying that there was no fucking Holocaust.
No, oh, hell no. No, there was.
What the fuck are you talking about? There's no evidence of Wall Street.
No, there. I
Why
know
don't you
that.
go on your radio show and say that and see how many blacks listen to your show after you say that bullshit?
No, I wouldn't say that.
So where did you hear that from? You didn't hear that from no black people?
No, I heard that.
Where would you even hear that from, man?
Oh, you know, I
want to know, where would somebody even come up with some shit like that to tell you that?
I monitor all different shows all over the internet.
And you're telling me that there's no documentation of U.S. Army deployed? I tell you what, why don't you Google that one? U.S. Army shoots Black Wall Street and see what you come up with.
Hold on. That's quite troubling. Let me see. U.S. Army
shoots Black Wall Street. I just looked at fucking photographs.
She's black. Tulsa Wall Street burned and then rose from the ash. But hold on. See, don't. Wait, Greenwood. Hold on, this is some sort of Greenwood is a historical freedom colony in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It is one of the most prominent concentration of African businesses in the United States during the 20th century. It was popularly known as Black Wall Street until a Tulsa race riot of 1921, in which white residents massacred hundreds of black residents in a rash of neighborhoods within hours. The riot was one of the most devastating massacres in U.S. history's racial relations, destroying the once thriving Greenwood community. See, that's basically what I'm saying. There's no mention of the
What are you reading and what is the fucking source?
This is Wikipedia, and it is.
Which means somebody has fucking sanitized it. You keep saying Wikipedia is not a reliable source. Don't fucking tell me that you read Wikipedia so it must not have happened.
No. I'm scrolling down as well. Yeah, let me just jump out of here and go back. There was other sources as well. Black Wall Street, a Black Holocaust in America. And this is from Black Wall Street freeserver.com.
I already told you. They fucking put machine guns on the high ground and started mowing everybody down.
I'm gonna put that.
First of all, how the fuck do you think a bunch of white people in a town gonna be able to kill hundreds of black people in a matter of hours? Come on, dude.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense right there.
But you just read it, and then you say, "Well, see, there's no U.S. Army here."
I mean, not like I'm just like from a reporter's point of view. Obviously, I see the writing on the walls, and I know it. Like you said, it's sanitized.
Dude, the only reason we're having this conversation is you're the one who even suggested it.
My God. So then we have this. Then we have Wounded Knee.
But there must have been a bunch of angry white people in town, too. So you haven't found a site yet that tells you U.S. Army shoots Black Wall Street.
I mean, this isn't U.S. Army shoots Black Wall Street. U.S. Army machine guns.
Yeah, you could even do that. Maybe the Army just loaned those machine guns to the white citizens. Hey, y'all want to borrow these for a couple hours?
The Ringer.com. Hold on. It's right there in the caption. The story of Tulsa, Oklahoma, Greenwood District isn't well known. Now that I can agree with. But the racial motivations, destruction, and the thriving community, blah, blah, blah. Hold on, let me scroll down.
And why would that be in Ranger.com? So that tells you something right there.
What's wrong? Come here. There. Don't get in there no more. Hold on. Come here. The Renaissance. I think I probably had this thing way down here at the bottom. White flesh lambs. No, you can't have that, baby. As many as 5,000 armed whites, hundreds of them deputized by police, descended on Greenwood that night and until the next morning. Man, that's a lot of people. This article is incredibly long.
First of all, any town with 5,000 people back in those days would have to be a large town.
Oh, yeah. Okay, the massacre of 10 years. Hold on. Big Mama. Rosewood was happening around the same time. Okay, then now they went off. They're not having the information concisely on this thing.
Somebody's doing a good job of sabotaging.
Oh, they're doing it.
Just like when I told people that Maya Angelou used to sell drugs and ran a whorehouse. And they all told me I was a liar and full of shit. Then when she wrote her book, she put it in there. Then they go, yeah, but she turned her life around. I'm like, that helps all the people who died from drug overdoses from her drugs. That helps all the prostitutes that she was fucking selling out there on the street.
Damn, dude.
And you told me it wasn't even true. But when Maya Angelou and the Clintons were in the White House, you couldn't even find that on the fucking internet. Or like when I told people that the Dalai Lama was in bed with the Nazis. And now people want to act like the Dalai Lama is some great thing. That motherfucker supported the Nazis in World War II.
What a piece of fucking shit.
But you couldn't find anything on the internet because they did a good job of keeping it sanitized.
These people, man. It's totally... So, a nab Negro for attacking girl in elevator? Apparently was the...
Notice how you don't hear anything about that black guy from Empire anymore.
No, you don't.
When they try to say that he made the whole thing up. See, they distract you. As soon as Roger Stone got arrested, then you heard about some white guy in blackface.
Yeah, you did.
And now nobody talks about Roger Stone anymore.
No. Nobody's talking about him. It's like he just kind of don't exist anymore.
And why did they bring up the guy in blackface?
Well, to get people's excited about, oh, look what he did back in the day. Oh, my God, look what he did. And the fact that he's a Democrat, because there's this ongoing Democrats are just evil type rhetoric, basically.
What did I tell your listeners on the show why they're doing it?
No, you're not having that. Come on, go,
They
baby.
want an Article 5 convention.
Yes.
That's why they have to get rid of the Democrats and replace them with a Republican.
And that's probably why Trump said at his El Paso rally there yesterday, he wanted to find more guys like that so he could.
When was that photograph taken?
No, fuck. Back in his college days, like 80s.
So why would it come out now?
Right. Because, like you
You
said.
do realize he was a Republican, right?
Yeah, you're the one that hit me to that. You're the one that told me that he was a Republican.
And it didn't come out till he became a Democrat.
Right.
A Democrat who's been helping black people.
But has he really?
he had signed legislation that helped black people.
Jeez.
That other governors in Virginia would never sign.
This is what's so hard.
And now you can turn blacks against him because all they see is the blackface because they're so stupid they get emotionally involved over a blackface.
Dang.
It ain't about the blackface. It's about getting rid of him and putting in a Republican who shouldn't even be in office. He should be in prison, and that's who's going to replace this motherfucker. Now you got girls coming out talking about the black attorney general was raping women.
Yes.
Now the Me Too movement has been going on for quite a while. Why is it all of a sudden these women just come out now when the governor is accused of blackface? Dude, this whole thing is set up. Because they need Virginia. I told your listeners, Virginia was the capital during the Civil War. They ain't going to let Virginia get away from them if they go to an Article 5 convention. In North Carolina, a Democrat won the governorship. You know what the legislation did?
What?
They passed a law where they don't no matter what the governor says, they ignore any law the governor does. So he's a fucking governor in office with no power because the legislature is run by Republicans.
So they sort of invented the whole executive branch of the government?
That's what they're doing in Washington, D.C.
Hold on now. Yeah, you're right. To a certain degree.
It's just the opposite. And Washington, D.C., with Trump in the White House, Congress ain't doing their job because they're letting the president do it all. Like he's a fucking dictator or a king.
Damn. Damn.
So if Trump puts the armed forces down on the border, he can use an executive order that will be lawful, directing the armed forces. After all, we got CBs, we got Army Corps of Engineers. They're the ones who build all the dams in this country. They'll build a fucking wall.
Damn.
Exactly. Damn.
You know.
So when he said he'll get his wall built, people are sitting here watching active duty armed forces going down to the border.
Yeah.
If you say, okay, that's fine. Well, once they're there, under the president's directions, it's legal. So he can direct the CBs next week and the Army Corps of Engineers to start building that wall.
I mean, there's fucking... I just want to pull this up on YouTube. I thought I remember seeing it. Yeah, there's like trains. There's people, and this was posted like 3 months ago. There's people shooting trains with boxcar to boxcar tanks rolling down the way.
What are you talking about?
What you're talking about, the buildup. I mean, the buildup of the border thing. Like, this thing has been going on for like the past 3 months for real. The building up of the troops down there in that area. Which would mean that there's probably more than likely already special forces inside of Latin and South America ready to rock and roll with support from the border and our troops right there.
Have you ever seen Sicario?
Sicario, no.
I guess you better write this down. Sicario. Not that I haven't told you about this before. Sicario. Do you even know what that means?
No.
I've trained a few of them. Anyway, after you wrote it down, now look that one up on the internet. See what you come up with. I can't believe this fucking movie doesn't work.
Del Toro, Emily Blunt. The movie came out in 2015.
Yeah, what does it say?
An idealistic FBI agent enlisted by the government task force to aid in escalating war against drugs at the border. Damn it. That's the one with the border bomb. False flag.
What are you talking about?
Earlier that. Hold on, guys. Earlier, you had mentioned that all Trump really needs to do.
The movie.
Yeah.
What does it say about the movie?
No, that's all it's, on this particular link. That's all I was saying. That is basically.
Well, on that one, go to Wikipedia, because you ain't getting it, dude.
Okay.
You just put down movie Sicario.
I was going to go down to the plot. Okay, FBI agent Kate, blah, 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 leads to a raid on suspected Mexican cartel safe house where they discovered dozens of decaying corpses and booby traps that killed 2 policemen. Following the raid, Kate's boss recommended her for a Department of Justice Special Joint Task Force overseen by Matt Craver and the secretive Alejandro Glick to apprehend a Lieutenant Manuel, assuring that the task force will bring Diaz and those responsible for the safe house incident to justice. So, I mean, there's a lot more.
You ain't got to it yet.
Okay. The team traveled in force to Hulet, Mexico, to extradite the Diaz brothers' henchmen. To preempt an ambush, the team killed several Mexican drug cartels at the border checkpoint, shocking the naive K. Well, duh. Okay. Begin to question task force seemingly inexplicable method. Finally, Matt reveals that the object is not to apprehend Diaz, as originally suggested, but to disrupt his drug operations to such a degree that Diaz will be summoned back to Mexico by his boss, the exclusive Sinaloa drug cartel lord, Fausto Arauco. By following Diaz, they plan to bring back Arauco to justice. So they're using this dude to get to the main dude, basically. Disrupting the desk cash flows, the team raids bank using his money laundering. They use his They used their findings from the raid to mount a legal case against Diaz, but were ordered to stand down so that not to jeopardize the operation. Much to their frustration, while conversation at the bar, Reggie introduced Kate to Ted, ensuing struggles, and Ted began strangling Kate, but the other guy stops her, Al Geraldo or whatever. Matt reveals that he used her as bait. So they're basically using a FBI, kind of just playing mind games with her. They soon learn that Diaz is being recalled to Mexico as they hope. Kate Kate questions the good news, pointing out that they have no jurisdiction in Mexico. But Matt advised Kate that her and Reggie involvement in the operation is simply a technical necessity, as working with U.S. law officers grants the CIA legal permission to continue.
And who's the army of the CIA?
Who's the army of the CIA?
That's what I just asked you.
I have no idea.
You mentioned them. You talking about, oh my God, they're sending these trucks down to the border. That means JSOC will be there. Those already fucking there, dude. The movie is about using an FBI agent to make it look like it's a law enforcement thing, and they only got her there as figure, but the whole thing is being done by CIA and JSOC.
Damn it.
And that's a movie that came out 4 years ago. Hell, they've even got a second one that's already come out, and you never even heard of Sicario. JSOC has been in Mexico for years. JSOC trains this. In fact, why don't you look up and see, Google this one. Mexican unit arrests Chapo.
Mexican unit. Arrest Chapo.
Do you even know who Chapo is?
No, El Chapo, yeah.
He was found guilty on all charges this week. That motherfucker gave $100 million to the Mexican president.
Damn. Arrest of Mexican drug boss could herald end the Zeta cartel. Mexican police didn't know why. Wait.
What Mexican unit did they say arrested him?
Oh,
I had lunch with my daughter not too long ago, and she was telling me how the Mexican army arrested Chapo. I go, it wasn't the Mexican army. Well, Dad, that's what I said. It wasn't the Mexican army.
Federales.
It wasn't the federales. They're the most fucking corrupt of all. When the Pope visited Mexico, you know who guarded him?
Who?
The drug cartels. And nobody fuck with the Pope.
That's crazy.
There was a unit trained out of Quantico, Virginia. Trained by MARSOC. Do you know what MARSOC is?
No.
Yeah, why don't you Google that one? MARSOC. I'm sure you're writing it down. MARSOC.
OC. Hold on. Emma, stop the yelling, please. The official United States Marine Corps Special Operations Command recruiting information.
Oh, I'm sorry. So why don't you put this one in? MARSOC trains Mexicans in Quantico. See what comes up.
Oh my God. How do you spell Quantico?
QUANTICO. Hell, they had a TV show called Quantico.
Yeah, my wife watched that garbage on it.
I wonder if it still comes on. I like the way you say it's garbage if you don't even watch it.
Well, come on, man. it's just...
It's just what? The fucking show's technical advisor is a 35-year veteran from the FBI. Maybe you know more than she does.
Well, I know not to be a dirty little whore. I mean, come on, that's all that show was, man. It was just a bunch of fucking sex and stupid shit, for real.
What are you talking about?
That show, I saw it once with her. All they were doing was like all these damn recruits were going around sleeping with you. It's basically like one of those medical shows.
I don't know what fucking show you were watching.
She was a little black-haired girl. Pretty, you know, she was pretty, but... Okay, Quantico is a training station, Virginia. History.
I don't care about the history. I asked you, MARSOC trains Mexicans in Quantico.
Yeah, it's not coming up with nothing pertinent.
Okay, just put down Mexicans trained in Quantico.
Alright. I'm going to save that bit, though. Going back to Mexico units train in Quantico. Quantico Crossmo's a Marine Corps PCN. Blah 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 units. Looks like the best bet. U.S. offered to help train Mexican police.
They're not federales, and they ain't the Mexican army. Because you can't trust them to go after the drug cartel. And these motherfuckers are hardcore. And even they still get killed, or their families get killed.
No,
In fact, I'm sure some of the guys responsible for arresting El Chapo, their families have been killed already. But they try to get guys who don't even have families.
So there's none that blowback potentially, dude.
I think they're called like the FUERZA. Maybe put that one. Put in FUERZA trains in Quantico.
RZ. Okay. that's the same first one. It's weak recognizing.
They're like the Navy SEALs of Mexico. And that might even be a better one. If you Google Mexico Commandos Training Chronicle.
Okay. Commandos. U.S. Commandos boost numbers to train Mexican forces. No, that's not.
Probably is. It sounds like the same thing. Anyway, my point to you is that movie Sicario was trying to tell you you can't send active duty U.S. armed forces into Mexico. That's like declaring a war. So what you do is you make it look like it's a law enforcement task force because they have it with an FBI woman's face on it, but it's fucking JSOC.
Special Operation Command. Damn.
What do you even know about JSOC?
I know nothing.
Exactly. Nobody fucks with JSOC.
Well, I mean,
I was a part of JSOC when there was no JSOC. Actually, it started off as Rapid Deployment Force, then it became Rapid Deployment Joint Task Force, and then it became Central Command
damn.
out of Florida. MacDill Air Force Base in Florida. JSOC doesn't answer to anybody but the president.
Even the Joint Chiefs of Staffs?
They don't even know. You're talking Navy SEALs, Marine Recon, Army Special Forces, Air Force Pararescue
Yes.
Special Forces.
All this. I was taken away by the Mars, but I didn't realize. I thought the Marines only had recon Marines. But does ONI still exist in the Navy? Office of Naval Intelligence?
Yeah.
They still exist.
And it pissed us off because we had all the training, but they wouldn't give us SOC classification. So a lot of us had to fight to get the Marine Corps included, but that happened after I got out. So.
Damn, dude. I mean, not to be ignorant, but most people think of Marines as special forces, like each and every Marine. You know what I mean? Is trained to the hilt.
Well, if you want an idea, go to. In fact, Donald Trump disrespected one of the most fucking famous JSOC guys ever was. You know who that is?
No, who?
McRaven.
Oh my God. Donald Trump, yeah, he did disrespect him.
McRaven was JSOC. He was a fucking Navy SEAL, highest ranking Navy SEAL ever. So when this guy is telling you that Trump's fucking up, somebody should be listening.
But nobody is.
Because there's a war going on within the intelligence community.
And you've been telling us that, well, at least on this show, for past 2 years. You know, that,
Because they're getting rid of anybody who doesn't go along with their John Bird's fucking agenda.
these Birchers, man. This has to,
Hey, you the one living in the state where the fucking guy now is the head of Secretary of State. The one that called Obama nigger all the time and gets all this money from the Mercers. Well, actually, I guess he's from Kansas. I'm sorry, you're in Missouri.
yeah. I mean, we got our share of rednecks here.
You guys have a statue to Rush Limbaugh.
It's crazy.
He was on the radio in Kansas when I was out there when we lived in Wyandotte County. cold is it back there right now?
Right now it's like 34 degrees out there, 40ish in that neighborhood, give or take.
It's been raining here for 3 weeks, man. I ain't seen rain like this in all the time I've been living out here, and I've been living out here since '82.
How bad? Mudslides, warnings, and shit?
Oh, that's always now with the fires, yeah. But I mean, no, I'm talking. It's raining right now. It's coming down too.
But it's
So anyway,
really
I'm
good.
gonna run, but I'm just telling you, dude. They don't need to send armed forces to the border so JSOC will be in Mexico, because JSOC's already in Mexico. And they show it to you in that movie Sicario. Of course, they've been down there longer than that, but just like we train the guys in Central and South America at the School of Americas, we train fucking guys at Fort Benning, Fort Bragg, and Quantico.
This is crazy, man.
But to send active duty armed forces into another country, you can't do that. That's like a declaration of war.
That is a declaration.
And if the people of that country found out you allowed them to do it, the people will turn against you. But if you send people down there who look like they're working in a joint task force with the DEA and FBI, then it doesn't look so bad. So Homegirl in the movie gets her feelings hurt when she finds out what the true nature of the operation is.
Isn't that how it always is? The naive ones who.
And do you still even know what Sicario means?
I have no idea what it means. I know what it is now, but I don't know what.
What is it?
It's a training facility where our special.
Oh, you're not even close. Why don't you just write down define Sicario?
Define.
I told you I've trained a few. I know. I guess that went right over your head.
Hold on. My battery went out on my damn keyboard. Define Decadio.
How are you spelling it?
S.
According to Bustle, the word is most often used to describe the hitmen associated with the Mexican drug cartels, and they don't have the friendliest reputation.
Wow, Google. Thank you. That's fucked up. Like I said.
Because in that movie, not only do you have CIA and JSOC, they bring in a motherfucker who goes down there to do the real dirty work.
And we're just talking about assassins.
1 minute he works for this cartel, next year he works for that cartel. But if the U.S. government needs him for an operation, he works for the U.S.
This is just not cool.
What was the most famous assassination program we ever had?
Oh my god. Damn it, it was during that's World War II.
Got your pencil?
Yeah, I got it.
Phoenix program.
Yes, Phoenix. Phoenix program.
Now Google that and see what you come up with, because you ain't even fucking close.
Hold on. Phoenix program. U.S. assassination.
Wow, imagine that.
Here is some information about Phoenix program.
Thank you. Here you go. Come on, baby. Yeah. So it's during Vietnam era. CIA. Special forces. Fuck, man. All the good guys. Stop! Emma, get down. Get down. Get down now. Before you fall. Here. Alright. Program was designed to identify and destroy Viet Cong by infiltration, capture, counterterrorism, interrogation, and assassination. The CIA described it as a set of programs that sought to attack and destroy the political infrastructure of the Viet Cong.
In other words, democratically elected officials.
Yeah, that was. I mean,
The church committee shut that program down, and then after 9/11, with the so-called global war on terrorism, it is now back bigger than ever before.
Okay, baby. All right, man. I gotta get these guys something to eat. They're just...
Exactly. But just remember this. If you have decks of cards with people's faces on them, you think there's an assassination program in play?
Yes.
So try to get Craig Hulet on your show, because you ask him questions on the stuff I just gave you, he'll answer them.
Truthfully?
Later.
Later.